Okay, people, let's get started. So, what I want to talk about today is this exact trine from the transiting sun at 24 degrees of Aquarius to my natal Venus at 24 degrees Gemini. And I'm going to talk about two events that are both, I think, pretty obvious. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Alex is my partner, went to MediaMarkt today. MediaMarkt is the local electronics store. And obviously in the electronics store, um, there's all kinds of gadgets. There's televisions, there's gaming systems, there's chargers and headphones and refrigerators and ovens and anything you can imagine, it's there. It's a big store. And obviously when we're talking about tech, we're talking about air signs. And specifically that we're at the store full of this tech, I would say is the sun in Aquarius, but the fact that we're there to buy something for ourselves and the fact that it's all different assets that are valuable and you have to pay for is the Venus in Gemini. And in this case, we also have to ask ourselves, let me tell you the other part of the story. So we went there specifically to buy a fridge. And we were looking at all the different ones. We were thinking about, so what's the price and which one do we really like? So we were taking a look and we're talking to the employee there. And finally, we decided on the fridge that we want to have. And immediately they packaged it up. We put it in the car and now it's here. And when it's the fridge, I want to show you that because the sun is highlighting my Venus by trine, then we have to ask, so what is Venus doing? Now, Venus is at 3 degrees of Pisces. She's making an exact trine to my natal Mars at 4 degrees of Cancer today. And I say exact because my Mars is at the early degrees, like 4 degrees in 6 minutes, and Venus is at like 3 degrees in, I don't know, the late minutes at the moment. And we bought a fridge. That's what we went there for. And when it's the refrigerator, so obviously first we have the tech, like all the technology that's around, right? So that's the air signs. But then, because we're specifically going for a fridge, fridges and freezers keep things cold, and they also make food last longer. So they extend longevity. So obviously we should have Cancer, and obviously we should have water signs. Also, because one of the main parts of it was that when we get back home with the fridge, we have to wait a day before it starts to function because the liquid inside of it needs to settle. So there we have all of the water sign also. So you can see how these water signs and air signs are working in tandem to create the exact reality of acquiring the fridge today. The other part that I want to point out is just that Jupiter is transiting Cancer. And if you guys watched my full moon in Cancer video some time ago, I talked about how the full moon conjunct Jupiter is when we decided, like, yes, we're gonna get the fridge. Then there was a little bit of a delay because I went to stay with my family. By the way, that's again Jupiter and Cancer in the third house. I was with my little cousins and with my aunt. Um, Never mind. And now finally we have the fridge, which is a huge expansion for us because we didn't have a fridge before. Now we can store things. So food can keep longer. How nice. Now, the other event that happened today, very different, but it's the same energy. So let's take out Jupiter and Mars and focus just again on the Sun, exact trine Venus, from Aquarius to Gemini. For whatever reason today, and here you'll also see the 10th house and the second house. Um, I went on my profile on TikTok and I went to my followers. I have 19,700 followers. And I decided to message as many of them as I could and introduce myself and offer them that whenever they would like to get to know their chart better, I invite them for a reading. And so I guess in total, I messaged maybe 400 or 500 people today, and I guess I'm going to keep messaging them later on. And so here you can see again the air signs, Aquarius in particular, because I'm messaging hundreds of people that I've never met in my life, many of which I don't even know what they look like because they're hiding behind some kind of profile photo and a profile name. So whenever it's Aquarius, for me, very often it's about all the people. It's the public, the people that aren't too close, but they're out there. So humanity at large, yeah? So the audience. Whereas my Venus in Gemini, of course, is that I'm introducing myself. I'm being very polite. I put a little smiley face and I make an offer. Because the whole point of this is like, hey, I have something really valuable to give you, which is information, right? Venus in Gemini, my second house. What do I have to give? Very excellent, high quality information about your chart. And so there you can see another level of it. There was even someone that I was messaging back and forth with, and it was just kind of fun to connect with people and have just a couple exchanges with them. I don't know, I kind of enjoyed that, making more of a personal connection. And I'm going to give you a third thing because it just came up for me while I've been thinking about this transit. Um, I posted a couple videos earlier today to YouTube, and on one of those videos, there was a Bulgarian woman, and I say Bulgarian because she wrote her comment in Bulgarian. She wrote me a comment, and it was a very, very nice comment. Like she was recognizing my soul, essentially, and yeah, just telling me how everything she's seen from me so far has been like really excellent, and she feels that I can not just practice astrology, but also create astrologers, so teach people how to practice. And of course, that's the idea, right? So she just got it. And I've never met her before. And so again, you can see the sun shining in my 10th house and making an exact trine to my Venus, which is someone interacting very kindly with me. Yeah. Um, so there you can see how the same transit, and keep in mind, I didn't tell you about the whole part of the day, but just a couple things is enough. So you can see how this one transit is responsible for three different events, which have a similar energy but express in very different ways. Does it make sense? I think it makes good sense. And again, just the reason that I make the videos in this way and tell you the stories of what happens to me is hopefully that in seeing how it works in my chart, you will start to apply that same practice to your own chart, and you're going to start trying to match events that are happening in your real life to the transits that you're experiencing on any given day. And as you do that, if you do that, and I really encourage you to do it, you will see how astrology works. And that's the whole point, is to understand the full message of astrology, for which you need to work with the transits because life moves. Life is changing every single moment of every day. There's something new happening. And each of those events that are happening to you are reflected in your transits. So please take a look and do a bit of practice. And that is really going to help your mind go through an extraordinary transformation. And I guess your consciousness will get lifted because that is what happened to me. And that is why I make these videos, because I would like to give that gift to everyone else. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.